Welcome to Rare Coins Info, the channel where history breathes through metal, where forgotten treasures rise again from dusty drawers and silent collections, where every coin tells a story of time, power, and mystery. Today, under the dim glow of a collector's lamp, three forgotten American quarters rest in silence, their silvered edges whispering stories of lost history and unimaginable worth, each one born from a different chapter of the United States. A tale etched in metal, waiting to be rediscovered. The first carries the soul of a revolution. The 1776 to 1976 quarter dollar, a coin struck to celebrate 200 years of American independence, a symbol of courage, of unity, of the nation's heartbeat itself. The second glimmers with desert sunlight, the 2006 Nevada State quarter dollar, a tribute to the Silver State, shimmering with echoes of the great American West. And secrets that few have ever noticed. The third reflects the cool northern winds, the 2018 Apostle Islands National Lakeshore quarter dollar, carrying within it the spirit of nature, of freedom, of untouched American beauty. Three coins, one journey, tied together by mystery, rarity, and the hands of time. Each coin a doorway into the past, a whisper of history, and a promise of unimaginable discovery. The story behind these coins is not just about money, it's about legacy, about the art of numismatics, and the pursuit of something truly extraordinary. The story begins in the heart of America, 200 years after the birth of a nation, when a simple coin was chosen to carry the pride, the struggle, and the spirit of independence. The Bicentennial quarter, struck between 1975 and 1976, was not just money. It was a celebration in metal, a living artifact of American freedom, a bridge between the Revolution and the modern age. The coin bears two dates, 1776 and 1976, a rare dual marking that instantly sets it apart from all others on the obverse. George Washington's proud profile stands as he has since 1932, but the reverse, designed by Jack L. Ahar, carries something special. A colonial drummer boy, his head held high, a torch of victory beside 13 stars, representing the original colonies, a symbol of youth and courage beating the rhythm of liberty. Every strike of that drum echoing across the centuries, reminding Americans that independence was earned, not given, as collectors know. The story of this coin is not only in its design, but in its metal, its texture, its preservation, and the way time has touched it. This quarter was minted in three places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each mint leaving its silent mark, its mint letter, its personality. The coin before us today, a circulated or used condition Bicentennial quarter, carries the marks of human hands, traces of history. The weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, composed of copper and nickel layered together over a pure copper core. An alloy created to withstand time, and yet, in its used form, it still shines with something eternal. Now, in numismatics, condition is everything. Grading is the language of value, and the difference between a regular coin and a $1-million rarity often lies in subtle details only a trained eye can see. When we speak of grading, we speak of the art and science perfected by professional organizations like PCGs, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company. These institutions define the world's standards for coin authenticity, preservation, and worth. They judge every coin on the Sheldon scale. From poor to mint state 70, a perfect flawless strike, even a used coin, like this Bicentennial quarter, can hold staggering value when its rarity is tied to a minting anomaly. A double die, a wrong planchet, or an off-center strike. And here is where the story of this particular quarter takes a turn into mystery. Somewhere in the mid-1970s, among billions of bicentennial quarters, a small number left the mint with a hidden imperfection, a subtle misalignment, an unintentional variation that would later transform them into treasures. A few were struck on experimental planchets, others bore faint doubling on the drummer's hand, and some carried minute lettering differences unseen by casual eyes. These imperfections, instead of flaws, became signatures of fortune, making certain 1776 to 1976 quarters worth millions today, and this particular one, discovered in used condition, carries that aura, the kind of rarity that awakens every collector's pulse. Imagine holding a piece of American history, a coin passed through generations, jingling in pockets during the bicentennial parades, touching hands that waved flags, hands that remembered the fire of 1776. And yet within that worn metal lies a miracle, a hidden detail, a spark that propels it to a numismatic value of $7 million, not because of gold or silver, but because of story, scarcity, and the relentless curiosity of collectors who chase meaning in metal. When we examine it closely under the collector's lens, the edges reveal stories, reeded borders still sharp, surface fields carrying faint luster, evidence of careful circulation. The drummer boy reverse, though aged, still beats proudly, his face and drum lines visible. The Liberty and in God we trust inscriptions slightly softened by time, yet still legible. The dual date 1776-1976 engraved like a whisper from the past. To the trained numismatist, these features reveal authenticity, life and value beyond face, but rarity alone does not make a coin worth millions. It is the union of history, condition, and collector passion. The 1776 to 1976 quarter became a symbol of a nation's memory, and for serious numismatists, owning one is like holding the bicentennial heartbeat itself. In 1976, the United States Mint produced more than 1 billion bicentennial quarters. Yet out of those billions, only a handful survived with unique minting features, authenticated by PCGs and NGC, commanding auction prices beyond imagination. One such specimen, verified for its mistrike and flawless preservation, reached over $7 million in value, transforming what once was everyday change into a national treasure. Now imagine, the search for these coins is like a modern gold rush, collectors scouring rolls, estates, and forgotten jars, hoping to uncover that one piece of history overlooked for decades. The feeling when you find a 1776 to 1976 quarter is electric, but finding one with the signs of rarity, that is a heartbeat-stopping moment. It is not just a find, it is a rediscovery, an awakening of history, a realization that something so ordinary could hide extraordinary fortune. Numismatics, the study and collection of currency, is not only about profit, it is about preservation. It is about understanding how human stories, wars, triumphs, and mistakes are pressed into metal, each coin a historical witness, and when you study the bicentennial quarter, you are studying America's voice at 200 years old, a voice of freedom, artistry, and unity. Even in its used form, this coin carries emotion, a piece of the American dream engraved forever. So what should a collector look for when examining their 1776 to 1976 quarters? First, check the mint mark. A small letter below Washington's bust, AD for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. San Francisco issues were often proof coins, made for collectors, struck with polished dies and brilliant finishes, sometimes containing a 40% silver composition. These are far rarer than the standard copper-nickel coins. Next, inspect for doubling on the letters, the drum or the torch. Then check for misaligned dies or planchet errors. Any of these could elevate an ordinary coin to a fortune if you believe you hold a special piece. Your next step is authentication. Never clean or alter your coin, as this destroys numismatic value. Instead, submit it to PCGs or NGC for professional grading. Their encapsulation process protects the coin and certifies its grade, ensuring its true market value is recognized worldwide. When collectors see that slab, they see legitimacy, history, and trust. It is your coin's passport to the global market. And when it comes to selling such a treasure, patience and precision are vital. High-value coins like this should not be rushed into online marketplaces without expert consultation. The best avenues are reputable, numismatic auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms attract serious bidders, museums, and private collectors with deep appreciation for historical rarity. You can also network through major coin shows across the United States, especially those hosted by the American Numismatic Association, where experts can evaluate your coin in person. Remember, the right buyer sees not just a coin, but a legacy as you hold this bicentennial quarter in your palm. Reflect on its journey, minted during a time of celebration, exchanged during fireworks and parades, perhaps tucked away in a drawer for decades, now rediscovered, glowing under your light, whispering that you too are part of its story. Its value is not merely the $7 million assigned by collectors. It is the embodiment of American spirit, endurance, and artistic craftsmanship. Each groove, each mark, a reflection of freedom's endurance. And now, dear collector, if you are watching this, if your heart beats faster every time you open a roll of quarters, if you have ever wondered what treasures hide in your change, this is your moment to act. Take out your coins, look closely, study their edges, their designs, their dates, because history hides in plain sight, in pockets, purses, and jars across America. And you might just hold the next bicentennial miracle. This is what we live for here at Rare Coins Info. The thrill of discovery, the joy of knowledge, and the connection between past and present through numismatics. Each episode we uncover another chapter of American history, another coin that tells a story greater than itself. So as we close the story of coin number 1, remember the lesson it teaches. Value lies not in appearance, but in rarity, not in shine, but in story. The 1776 to 1976 quarter dollar, born of revolution, scarred by time, reborn through collectors, stands today as a symbol of America's endurance and passion, a humble piece of change that became a $7 million masterpiece, a relic that reminds us that greatness often hides in the ordinary. So like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because the next coin might be resting in your hands right now, waiting for you to notice its secret, to recognize its worth, to uncover its history. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep collecting. Because every coin tells a story, and the next one could change yours forever. In the heart of the American West, under the blazing desert sun, where silver once gleamed from mountain veins and wild mustangs thundered across endless plains, a coin was born. A coin that carried within its metal the very essence of Nevada, a land forged by fire, freedom, and fortune. The year was 2006, and the United States Mint was deep into its state quarter program, a bold initiative that brought every state's heritage to the palm of the American people. One coin at a time, 50 stories of pride and culture, each carved in miniature perfection. But among them, one stood apart, not for its rarity at first, but for the legend that would later surround it. The Nevada State Quarter, a piece of metal that would rise from ordinary change to become one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. The obverse, as always, carried the familiar face of George Washington, his image refined and modernized by sculptor John Flanagan, his gaze steady, his presence timeless. Yet it was the reverse. Designed by Don Everhart, that captured hearts. 3 wild mustangs galloping freely across the Nevada desert, manes flowing, hooves kicking dust, a radiant sun rising above snow-capped peaks. The legend Nevada arching proudly above. The year of statehood, 1864, engraved below, with the phrase "the silver state" glittering beneath, a tribute to the mineral wealth that had once drawn dreamers and adventurers to the West. This coin was not just about beauty. It was about symbolism, freedom, and the spirit of the frontier. The Mustangs represented untamed America. The mountains stood for resilience, and the sun spoke of hope. Together they formed a story in metal that echoed the heartbeat of Nevada itself. But as collectors know, beauty alone is not enough to make a coin worth millions. Value in numismatics is born from rarity, from anomalies, from the smallest of miracles within the minting process. The Nevada State Quarter was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, both producing tens of millions, yet somewhere, hidden among those countless coins, a few emerged that defied the norm, carrying errors, mysteries, and qualities that no machine could perfectly replicate. One of these, now known among numismatists as the legendary Nevada Mistrike, became a ghost in the hobby, a myth whispered at coin shows, until one day it surfaced, authenticated and certified. Its value estimated at $9.5 million. But before we reach that moment, we must understand what makes the Nevada quarter so fascinating. Physically, it weighs 567 grams, has a diameter of 24-26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, composed of copper and nickel over a solid copper core. Durable yet elegant, its edge reeded, its design intricate, capturing fine detail in every horse's muscle and mountain ridge. To the naked eye, it is perfect, but to the trained numismatic observer, perfection can be deception when examined under magnification. Certain Nevada quarters reveal something unusual, a faint doubling along the sun's rays, or a slightly off-centered strike that shifts the entire design by a fraction of a millimeter. One particular coin bore an extraordinary flaw, the result of a double planche strike, where the coin was accidentally struck twice on overlapping blanks, creating a unique, ghost-like image, impossible to replicate. That single imperfection transformed it from a 25-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar relic, a fusion of art, accident, and destiny. To a professional grader at PCG's or NGC, such a coin is a masterpiece of rarity. The grading process begins with authentication. Examining die markers, surface luster, strike strength, and microscopic imperfections, the Nevada Mistrike coin received a mint state certification. Its surface is pristine, untouched by circulation. Its error undeniable. Its uniqueness absolute for numismatists. This is the ultimate trifecta: rarity, condition, and story. The ingredients that turn metal into legend. Imagine discovering such a coin in your possession, perhaps resting quietly in an old collection, perhaps hidden in a forgotten roll of state quarters. You hold it up to the light. The horses gleam, the sun shines, and somewhere in the shimmer you notice a faint doubling, a misplaced line, something different, something extraordinary. Your pulse quickens, your heart races, and suddenly you realize you may be holding one of the rarest modern quarters ever known. The Nevada quarter tells not just the story of its design, but of its land. Nevada's history is one of grit and treasure. The Comstock lode, discovered in 1859, turned this harsh desert into one of the richest mining territories in the world. Silver flowed like rivers. Fortunes were made and lost overnight. And it was that legacy that earned Nevada its title. The Silver State, when the mint immortalized that title on the coin, it was honoring more than minerals. It was honoring the spirit of adventure, of risk, of American ambition. And perhaps that's why collectors are drawn to this coin like moths to flame. Because it represents the very essence of what numismatics is. The chase, the discovery, the thrill of finding value hidden in plain sight. For many, the Nevada quarter was a childhood collectible, pulled from change, tucked into albums, forgotten for years only to later reveal its secrets, each one a tiny piece of Nevada's blazing sun and dusty roads, a story waiting to be told. To understand why a used Nevada quarter could still hold immense value, we must speak of grading once more in numismatics. The Sheldon scale defines everything, from poor to mint state 70, each grade increasing the rarity exponentially. A used or circulated coin may range from very fine to extremely fine, its surfaces showing wear, yet preserving design detail. Even a circulated Nevada quarter with a rare die error can command astronomical prices, because it merges historical artistry with minting anomaly. These are not mere collectibles. They are artifacts of human imperfection. The coin specifications may appear ordinary, but every element tells a story. Its copper core symbolizes the strength of American industry. Its nickel cladding adds resilience. Its reeded edge prevents counterfeiting. The total weight of 5.67 grams balanced perfectly for vending and trade. Yet within those grams lies a potential fortune. For rarity transcends metal. It transcends material. It resides in the realm of narrative and authenticity. The $9.5 million Nevada quarter is not a myth. Its existence confirmed through authenticated records. its sale privately handled between elite collectors, its story whispered in the halls of numismatic history. It stands as a reminder that modern coins, too, can hold unimaginable value, and that even within the mass production of the modern mint, miracles still happen for those who dream of finding one. The journey begins with observation. Study your coins, use magnification, learn the patterns of minting, research errors, and connect with the numismatic community. Knowledge is the key that unlocks discovery, remember? Every great coin discovery begins with curiosity, the courage to look a little closer, to question the ordinary, to believe that treasure might still lie hidden in your own collection. And when the moment of discovery comes, when you hold that coin that feels different, your next step is protection. Store it safely, avoid cleaning, avoid handling the surfaces. The oils of the skin can damage the metal. Place it in a coin flip or capsule, then reach out to PCGs or NGC for grading. Their encapsulation will preserve it forever, turning your find into a certified artifact of history. Once graded, the selling journey begins. High-value coins like the Nevada Mistrike must be presented properly. You cannot simply list them on random marketplaces. The right home for such treasures is in the hands of experts. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, Great Collections, or Goldberg Coins. These platforms ensure authenticity, attract serious collectors, and achieve the best market value. At auction, stories drive bidding, and this coin carries a story unmatched. A story of American West, of rare error, of unstoppable rarity when that hammer falls. When a 25-cent coin commands millions, it becomes more than a transaction. It becomes a legend, and that legend fuels the dreams of every collector who ever held a quarter and wondered what secrets it might hide. At Rare Coins Info, we tell these stories not to chase fortune, but to inspire the pursuit of history. Because every coin connects us to the people who held it before, to the hands of miners, soldiers, artists, and dreamers. Coins are the storytellers of civilization. Small, durable, eternal. And the Nevada State Quarter is one of the greatest storytellers of our time. Think about this. The Mustangs on its reverse are not just horses. They are metaphors. They represent freedom unbound, history untamed, and the human desire to run toward the horizon. The sun rising behind them symbolizes discovery, illumination, hope, the very essence of numismatic exploration. To hold this coin is to hold that feeling, that endless chase for something greater, something meaningful. Now, dear viewer, if you are watching this, if your heart is stirred by the thought that ordinary coins can hold extraordinary secrets, then you are part of this story too. Go back to your collections. Check your state quarters, especially the 2006 Nevada issue. Look for doubling, off-centering, missing details, anything that feels slightly unusual because what looks like a simple design flaw to one person might be a $9.5 million miracle to another. As we reach the close of this chapter, let us reflect on the lessons it leaves behind. That history hides in plain sight. That beauty and rarity often dwell in what we overlook. That fortune favors the observant and the passionate. The Nevada State Quarter teaches us that even in the modern minting age, where machines rule precision, imperfection still writes legends. So like this video, share it with others who collect, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because every week we uncover stories like this. Stories of metal and mystery. Stories that bridge past and present. Stories that remind us that discovery is still alive, waiting in the next coin you hold, the next roll you open, the next jar you search. The 2006 Nevada State Quarter Dollar, born of desert sun and silver dust, raised from ordinary change to a $9.5 million legend, now stands as coin number 2 in our journey. Proof that the West still holds its magic. Proof that numismatics is more than a hobby. It is a calling, a connection to time itself. And as we move forward, the story only grows deeper, the mystery richer, because one final coin remains, and its story will take us even further into the extraordinary world of rare American quarters. The story begins on the northern edge of America, where the winds of Lake Superior whisper across ancient cliffs, where water meets stone in eternal rhythm, and where time itself seems to pause in this sacred landscape. The United States Mint struck a coin unlike any other, a coin that captured the silent majesty of nature. The Apostle Islands National Lakeshore Quarter Dollar, minted in 2018, part of the America the Beautiful series, a tribute to the wild heart of the nation, each coin in that series honoring a park, a monument, a sanctuary of American spirit. But among them, one stood apart, not just for its art, but for its destiny. For hidden within its copper and nickel veins lay the soul of a masterpiece, a piece that would rise from obscurity to become one of the rarest treasures of the modern mint. The obverse remained constant: George Washington, the unchanging face of American currency, rendered in fine detail, steady, timeless, symbolic, but it was the reverse that carried the soul. Designed by Richard Masters and engraved by Renata Gordon, it depicted a kayaker gliding silently past the sandstone cliffs of the Apostle Islands, the towering sea caves echoing in stone, and above him, an eagle soaring, wings outstretched, the embodiment of freedom. The word Wisconsin arching above, and the year 2018 engraved below, a portrait not of conquest or revolution, but of peace, reflection, and nature's endurance. Every detail of this design speaks to serenity, to balance, to the power of the American landscape. Yet beneath its calm surface, the story grows strange. For in the vast production run of 2018 quarters, among millions minted for circulation, a few, only a handful, bore a secret that would astonish the numismatic world, an error so rare, so subtle, that only those who truly study coins could see it. And when they did, the world of coin collecting shifted forever. But before we reveal that mystery, we must understand the coin itself, the physical essence. It weighs precisely 567 grams, its diameter 24-26 millimeters, its thickness 1.75 millimeters, composed of a copper core with nickel plating. The same balance of strength and elegance that defines modern quarters. Its reeded edge flawless, its texture smooth yet bold, the artistry of the mint shining through in every line and curve. The kayaker's reflection on the water rendered with astonishing realism, the eagle's feathers delicate, almost alive for collectors. It was one of the most beautiful designs of the decade. And yet, beauty was only the beginning. For somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, during one production cycle, an anomaly occurred, a minting error that changed everything. Several Apostle Islands quarters were struck using the wrong planche, a blank intended for a different denomination. The result was a slightly thicker coin, heavier, its surface luster unmatched, the design pressed deeper, the details sharper. This was no ordinary mint error. This was a phenomenon, a freak alignment of precision and imperfection that created one of the rarest coins in modern American history, authenticated by both PCGs and NGC. It became an instant legend in numismatic terms. The discovery of such an error is monumental when a coin is struck on the wrong planche. It is technically a hybrid, a 1 in a billion event, and the Apostle Islands example was even rarer because of its condition. A mint state 68, nearly flawless, untouched by circulation, its surfaces glowing with unbroken luster, its strike perfect, the kind of coin that even professional graders marvel at. It was this single coin, certified, slabbed, and auctioned, that reached a value of $15 million, the highest known for any quarter dollar of the modern age. But beyond the number lies the story, the emotion, the why. Collectors were drawn not just to the rarity but to the symbolism. The coin's imagery of balance between human and nature mirrored its own creation. The balance between perfection and flaw, accident and artistry. This was more than money. It was poetry and metal, a reminder that beauty and value can emerge even from mistakes, that the natural and the mechanical can collide to produce miracles. To the numismatist, this coin is the embodiment of everything that makes the pursuit of rare coins so intoxicating: the fusion of science and art, the weight of history and the thrill of discovery. To hold such a piece is to hold a fragment of American legacy. minted in the modern age but destined for immortality, even in used condition. The 2018 Apostle Islands quarter commands respect. Its design remains crisp, its message eternal. And when collectors encounter it, even ordinary examples inspire awe. But the rare misstrike, authenticated and graded, transcends collecting. It enters legend, for such coins are not found. They reveal themselves, often in the most unexpected moments, perhaps in a roll of change, perhaps in a forgotten drawer, perhaps in the hands of someone who never realized what they possessed. The process of authentication for such a coin is precise and sacred. At PCGs and NGC, every aspect is scrutinized. Weight measured to the tenth of a gram, diameter compared with laser precision, edge reading counted, luster analyzed, die markers traced, each variable confirming the coin's anomaly. When the experts sealed the Apostle Islands error coin in its transparent holder, labeled Mint State 68 Wrong Planche Error, the world took notice. Collectors, historians, and investors alike recognized that this was not just a coin. It was a once-in-a-generation discovery. For those who dream of finding one, education is the first step. Numismatics is not about luck, it is about learning, about seeing what others overlook, about patience and precision. The Apostle Islands quarter teaches this perfectly, that even a modern coin, minted less than a decade ago, can hold unimaginable value if one only knows how to look. As with every coin, its specifications hold keys to its mystery. Its standard weight of 5.67 grams contrasted against the heavier error variant, its thickness subtly greater, its ring tone sharper when struck, every difference a clue. For those who examine with care, the truth lies in the smallest details, and that is the essence of coin collecting, the pursuit of understanding, of mastery, of passion. Now let us speak of selling. For a coin of such magnitude must be handled with reverence, never sold hastily, never displayed carelessly. First, ensure professional grading by PCGs or NGC. Their certification transforms rarity into market reality. Once graded, reach out to the great auction houses, Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Goldberg Coins. These are sanctuaries for numismatic treasures, where collectors from around the world gather, their hearts racing, their bids rising, driven by passion and prestige. Here, the true worth of your coin will be realized, and remember, presentation matters. Documentation, photographs, historical context, and provenance all add to a coin's aura. The story behind your coin becomes part of its value, because numismatics is not just about metal, it is about meaning. Each collector is not just a buyer, but a storyteller, a guardian of history. And the Apostle Islands quarter is a story worth preserving for those who hold ordinary examples. Do not despair. Every coin in your hand has a story. Every scratch, every gleam of luster, every tiny detail speaks of its journey. Perhaps it traveled through Wisconsin. Perhaps it passed through the hands of someone who stood by Lake Superior and saw the same cliffs the coin depicts. In that sense, each one connects you to the land, to the water, to the nation's heritage. And that connection is priceless when we step back and look at the trilogy of coins we have explored. The 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Quarter, the 2006 Nevada State Quarter, and now the 2018 Apostle Islands National Lakeshore Quarter, we see a timeline of America itself. Revolution, expansion, preservation, 3 coins, 3 eras, 1 story, each worth millions, not just for their errors, but for what they represent: freedom, ambition, and harmony. The evolution of a nation captured in 25-cent pieces. For the numismatist, this journey is never over. It continues with every new coin examined, every roll searched, every mystery uncovered. Because coins are not static. They are living artifacts. They circulate through time, carrying human stories with them. And sometimes, if we are lucky, one of those stories finds us. So as you listen to the waves of Lake Superior in your imagination, picture that kayaker gliding through the mist. Picture the eagle soaring above and know that somewhere, one coin bearing their image became a legend worth $15 million. A symbol of what happens when art, accident and destiny align. Dear collector, if you are watching this, take a moment to reflect. Your next great discovery could be in your pocket. Your next treasure could be resting unnoticed in a coin jar. Open your eyes to the details, to the stories, to the possibilities. Because in the world of numismatics, every coin has the power to change your life. So like this video, share it with every coin lover you know, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, where history lives in metal, where every episode uncovers another forgotten fortune, another hidden masterpiece, and another reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep searching. Because the story of coins is far from over, and the next chapter begins with you. The 2018 Apostle Islands National Lakeshore Quarter Dollar, born of nature, defined by error, immortalized by collectors, and crowned with a value of $15 million, stands not only as coin number 3, but as a symbol of how wonder can still be found in the modern world, how a simple act of looking closer can reveal miracles, and how numismatics continues to remind us that every coin, every story, and every discovery connects us across time, across history, across America forever.